Hello, wonderful Magella. It's lovely to at least have you. I can't see your beautiful face yet, but I can see your name. Hello. Hello, Damien. And the hello, and Max is in. Max, Max, Max. I adore you, Max. You know that?
Hi, thank you.
You are the best one. It's wonderful. And Damien, oh my goodness, once more, dead famous on LinkedIn, Damien. Oh, Damien. So just give us a quick update on it, Damien.
Yeah, sure. I passed draft thesis review yesterday. Went very well. It was all very positive. There's a lot of work to do.
Oh,
But yeah, feel like I'm on the right track. Aiming to submit in June, so I've got a bit of time.
oh, Damien, this is just, I must not start crying. Do not start crying at the start of Right Club. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Damien. It is amazing and you deserve that success.
Thank you.
Excited. All right, colleagues. Well, the gang's all here. We've got a wonderful crew, and Magella might come in shortly. We've got a new wonderful person that's coming in, and Anastasia's in. This is terrific. So, Max, let's you and I, Andrew, it is wonderful to see you, always to see you. Very empowering beard work. Very impressed by that, Andrew. Max has gone, yeah, that's a good beard. That's a good beard. Colleagues, let's do some damage. I'm going to try and finish a bloody keynote this morning. So let's all do this. Max, let's you and I do this. Let's do 29 hard minutes. Colleagues, see you on the other side. Let's do it. Go for it, Bree. 29 minutes. Come on, girlfriend. Come on, you got this. Come on. last minute, colleagues. And colleagues, we are done. Ooh. Oh, that was big. Max and I had a time. So we're about to find out who everyone's gone. I do need to say an enormous hello to all our friends that are with us on Right Club asynchronously. We forget about all our wonderful crew that watch us on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. We adore you. And a big shout out to our beloved Vic. Vic has been with us every week since we started, and we love you, Vic. Look after yourself. But let's start with the Max. So Max, what were you writing on? What were you writing on, Max?
I'm writing on how so the Korean birth rate has been declining rapidly, and there's even some ideas that the Korean nationality is finished because everybody will die out soon. And I'm writing about how we can sort of mitigate the problem by first looking at what's happening, because everybody seems to repeat the same thing without actually trying to assess the situation.
That see, Max, there it is. See, Max, in the old days, we used to use the line that the greatest contraceptive a culture can ever have is the education of women, right? And so that is what impacts on the birth rate most. But okay, so then educated women would like to have the choice to have children, but then structures need to be placed around them to make effective decisions with their partners, noting the diversity of partnerships. So I can't wait to read your research on that, Max. Oh my goodness me.
Thank you.
Thank you. And should we go to the success himself? I could feel success permeating through the screen, Damien. Damien, what were you doing this time? Making the corrections?
I'm taking the rest of the week off the thesis and then coming back in next week. I'm finalizing the peer review, our response to the peer review feedback on the Media International article that we're going to try and get back by Monday. So my co-author and I have, worked through it. Now we've got to cut 300 words to get back under word count after addressing all the feedback.
Another 300, because that was the one I think we spent 2 Right Clubs getting the numbers down, didn't we?
We did. There were some very valid requests for some additional scholarship and for some additional signposting, which we understand, and also a positionality statement at the beginning, which is becoming a bit more common in this kind of space. And that's kind of just taken us over word counting. We asked for an additional 1,000 words, which we got, but that's taken us over the additional 1,000. So,
and Damien, can I just ask you, because I haven't published in Media International Australia, I haven't published in them in probably 20 years. Have you found it a good experience, mate?
Pretty smooth. And admittedly, my co-author, who's second author on this, has published with them a few times and is familiar with the way that they work. And so that was really helpful in the development process to be able for them to go, oh, they don't like this and they do like this. And so we've probably preempted a bunch of things.
Very good.
But yeah, it is hard to maybe it shouldn't be so hard, but 9,000 words just doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah, and look, it's a big project. And again, Damien, that's that issue for you and your co-author to think about if it's also a short book. So after this happens, if then another couple of chapters are added and it becomes 25 and then it's a short book.
Well, there's at the end a whole bunch of avenues of further research that where basically our argument is that we've done all this charting to say, well, this is what's out there. Now that we have this type of charting, we can now look at other things in more depth and go into intersectionality and other things like that.
Sounding like a Springer short to me.
Maybe once the thesis is submitted.
Damien, you're so precious to us. Congratulations, brother. You're just phenomenal.
Thank you.
Should we go to the lovely Jen, who is becoming increasingly the heart and soul of our lives? So, Jen, what were you writing on, my darling?
Oh, you make me laugh, heart and soul. If
You
only
are.
I'm
Big
like
heart.
a PhD student, I know. Sit here completely alone.
You're not. We love you, and you got the biggest heart. You got the biggest heart, girl. Don't know how it fits in your body.
So I was writing today on my literature reviews. So I had printed out a copy of my draft lit review, revised for my supervisor, and she had read it and given me feedback, but it was all handwritten on the paper and then photographed. And so every time I looked at it, I was like, I can't read that bloody writing. So I was really focused in this half hour on getting all those handwritten comments typed into comment boxes on the paper and immediately putting down my reply, like notes, my response, like what do I want to do or should do here. So it was so great to have that uninterrupted time.
Oh, Jen,
reading.
that's fascinating. The old days, of course, I still do some hand. When I do 10 drafts, I think 2 of them I do by hand on paper. But it is interesting that you actually then type it into a comment box, whereas when in the old days, I sort of would get the comment and I go, I will now address that comment, I would think, and I address it. But you actually go text box as a mitigating step. Oh, sound, Angel, sound. Darling, you're muted, baby.
Otherwise, it's easy to forget what I've changed. And then, you know, if your supervisor tells you to change it back, and then you can say, oh no, remember we talked about this and we decided that. Yeah.
The gift of digitization, Jen. Naughty. Fantastic. Data, time it. You are special. Unbelievable. Should we go to the wonderful Susan? It's been lovely spending time with Susan this morning. Susan, what were you writing on, darling one? Susan M. We've got, I know, I saw we're other fabulous Susan on the call.
I don't know if you hear me, right?
Yes, darling.
Yeah, I decided to sort of not be super academic today. I am working on an outline for a YouTube post. So as you might know already, Tara, I'm sort of into fitness. And by the way, since that kind of so anyway, so I just wrote the outline of a post on cognitive fitness, and the outline is about why openness and what to do while living messy. And messy is it was based on what my brother just sent to me a couple of days ago. Mind diet, which is a combination of Mediterranean and Dash, exercise, social interaction, solving problems with your brain, and you have to have why. Yes, the personal discomfort. While you make a assessment of those 4 other ones, you see which one you need the most work on. So I'm going to have a little talk on this, and that's my outline.
I think that's brilliant. And can I say also that clearly is a short book as well. I'm clearly selling short books at the moment. I would buy.
You're selling short. Oh, you buy this short book? I
would buy that short book. I would buy that short book.
Thanks very much.
I would buy that audiobook. You need to get that YouTube up, girlfriend, and then we just multimodal it out of existence.
I see. Thank you.
You're the best, mate. Adore you. The beautiful and wonderful Magella's joining us for the first time. Hello, my darling. And now, Magella, my darling, am I pronouncing the name correctly? Please hit me around the head and neck if I'm not. Good morning.
Hello. Yes, that's right.
What a beautiful name. So you, and how beautiful are you? My darling one, what were you writing on? Tell us about what you did for that 30 minutes.
Well, I came in early and no one was here. And then I dropped out and I missed the start. So I didn't know really what I was supposed to do. And then I figured out that everyone must just be writing. So I just started randomly writing.
Right.
And I'm just starting, like this is my first week. And so I have no idea what I'm doing. But my project is about creativity, embodiment, and transformative practice for teachers. So I started writing about creativity and what does it mean? And it was strange. It was like just a flow that came through. And I ended up sort of exploring how creativity sort of sits behind the gate that the mind keeps waiting for the mind to step away so that creativity can come through. And it created this metaphor of like the woman waiting to be safe to undress, basically, or the woman waiting to birth and being ready to birth. So yeah, it sort of like came through as the sensuality of creativity and how we need that environment. When I gave birth to my children, I needed, you know, a beautiful, safe environment, like a woman ready to make love needs an environment that she feels completely safe in. And tying those two together as the creativity as this this being within us that needs to be held and safe and ready to present. You don't know what's there. You don't know what's going to come through, but when that environment is made and when you start the pre-labor or the foreplay, then that slowly can be ready to present whatever may come. And we don't know what will come, but it's it's the birthing of the child. It's that sort of the trinity of the birthing of the child. So that's where I got to. I know that's a little
Firstly, on behalf of all of us, can we just firstly do this? Welcome to Right Club, Magella. And can I just say, I feel a hell of a lot smarter now. Does anyone else feel a hell of a lot smarter? So, Magella, I don't tell anybody how to do anything because my own life is in like a bucket of vomit. But Magella, darling, if you just use Right Club every week to just do that, to actually just write through the tropes and ideas as they come, you'll have your thesis done in about 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, well, I found it really useful because I do get a little bit blocked with my own creativity. And this project for me, I thought I'm going to start with autoethnography. So I need to actually do the process myself so that I have something to share. And yeah, it's been really helpful just to do that.
You join us anytime. You have changed our lives. Unbelievable. I feel so much smarter now. I feel like someone's given me like a new brain through my ear. It's unbelievable. And look, Josh, no pressure, Josh. Any commentary about creativity and birthing there, Josh? Where are we on your journey, Josh?
I feel like I'm on the exact opposite end of the spectrum after that. I have nothing anywhere near as impressive. I was doing some peer review stuff. So I had two papers that have been set up to peer review, and I actually find it really useful to do it in here after digital office hours because I feel like I can take the energy of this community and approach it with intellectual generosity. So I have my notes and then I write up my final decision. One of them was nice and easy. It was straight through. And then another one was actually really hard on whether it was a reject or a major revisions. And it's, the journals I review for tend to be ones that it's double blind, but I'm assuming these people are from third space professional roles where generally research is not, or it's disrespected usually. So I think the ideas are excellent, but there's just a lot of groundwork that has to be done to bring it up to standard. So I've written a really hard thing to write of, this is what you're going to need to do for me to put this over the line. And here are some alternatives if you're time poor and you don't have the time to actually do this. These are some other dissemination platforms that you can use. Yeah, but it was a rough decision to figure out whether it was a reject or whether to give them the option to. And I gave them the option because ultimately I was tracking the citations that they had, and they were doing it with integrity, and it was not a chat GPT piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh, you are brilliant. And I say for colleagues that are doing reader reports, this is a great space to do it. I've done it a couple of times too, Josh. The 30 minutes put you a bit under the pump so you're not going, oh, what do I think about this? Do I go get a drink? You actually go 30 minutes, poof, and it's amazing how much you can do. Josh, you are a genuine, remarkable, generous human. Oh, just not yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, I am. Should we go to the light of our lives now? I think I'm spending the afternoon with Noor. I think I'm reading Noor. I think it's Noor afternoon, I think. So, Noor, what did you write during those 30 minutes? I'm excited.
Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations with your new book. I'm so curious. Oh my God. So great. Awesome. Thank you for inspiring us. So I was reading and writing about the justification why I'm choosing focus group discussion, semi-structured interview, informal interview, and narrative oral interview. So I think I have to make like a table. So I designed a table so I can put my justification because of my writing issues. So I have to make the argument make sense. So that's why I did it in your writing today. And I'm happy to inform you that I have sent my latest draft to you, Sarah, yesterday.
I know. I'm doing it. It's like job number 1 this afternoon. When my meetings are over, it's no time.
Oh my God, thank you so much. And I also want to ask you, I'm curious about narrative oral interviews. So do you have any experience with it, or what is pros and cons about narrative oral interviews?
Look, there's some wonderful work on narrative. Depends how theoretical you want to get, Noor. But there's some high theory from the 1920s to 50s from a guy called Vladimir Prop. Vladimir Prop was fantastic, and another guy called Todorov. If I'd had a child and done birthing, as we were talking about earlier on with beautiful Magella, I would call Todorov. So Todorov, they were high scholars, high theorists that looked at functions in narrative. Now, if you wanted a slightly less intense European way into that story, put into Google Scholar Angel storying. So the word story with ing at the end, storying. And that's a beautiful, that might, as a methodology, might suit you with your narrative work even more effectively. And if you want a bit of an easy step into that literature, I think I did a video when I was still in New Zealand on storying. So if you've got Tara Brabbers on storying in, I'm no expert in it, but I really enjoyed reading that material. So that might be a guide on the side to help you through that material too. So maybe start with storying and then go to Prop and Todorov.
Okay. And last but not the least, thank you so much for your previous advice about research significance. So I designed it. Thank you so much.
Noor, you are so spectacular to us. We adore you. And look, I saw your BFF and my BFF. I saw the Shell on the call. Do we go and do a big hi to the Shell? I saw the Shell this week. Glamour Central. We love you, Shell. Now, Shell, what were you writing on this week? What mischief were you creating, madam?
I'm just collecting. I'm in a data collecting phase, and so I'm finding I'm capturing, and I'm just reflecting on. I'm doing reflections, and I'm trying to write what it is I'm doing and doing the reflections at the same time. So I actually was very intrigued by some of the conversations and just how people are reflecting actually in this group, and realizing how my insights out of that were, as a person who doesn't have set habits or set frameworks around it, I haven't got to the point where it's I feel like my own reflections are a good data set. So I don't know if anyone's got any advice on that or whether this is even the appropriate space. So, but anyway, I'm giving it a go, and I'm collecting those like amazing little bits of information, and doing my best at creating, I guess, a narrative around that collection that might be useful later on.
Can I say, Shell, particularly in the field you're working in, interpretation and analysis is very rarely sort of this logic tree. So your reflection, I mean, I know you very well, you're very precious to me. Your reflections are often analysis and interpretation. So I would, in many ways, we're all going to be sort of wanting to be Magella really for the next couple of years. Just actually write it out without judgment, Angel, and see what occurs. And don't try and put a genre or a label on the work that you're doing, Shell. Just write it, and then once it's into some sort of form, let us help you work out what the genre is. Don't over egg the omelette at this stage. Just enjoy the omelette. Maybe. Beautiful Maeve.
Thank you.
Oh, you're the best. Maeve, darling, talk to us.
Yeah, hi Shell. We've met you before. I remember your lovely name. So I did a lot of reflecting, especially in this time slot with the Right Bunch. An enormous number of 1,000 words I've written on that. And what I did, which I'm not sure this is entirely the way Tara's talking. She's saying don't put a genre on it, which I love that. But what I did was I wanted it to be a data set. So to make it a data set, what I did was I used Brookfield, 1995.
Stephen Brookfield, Shell. Stephen
Yes,
PH.
Stephen Brookfield. It is in a genre which is teaching and education, and he has this thing, page 115, and it's called something incident questionnaire. And basically the biggest thing that he's asking you is what surprised you. So there's 3 or 4 other questions, but the one that I loved was what surprised you. So what surprised you allows you to go anywhere you like. There's no bindings on that. And I did make that into a very clear data set, because every week for a year just about, I wrote answers to that. So I don't know that helped me really, Tara, but it was what I did.
I think it does, but it orients into writing. It orients a new researcher into the researcher space. And I think it became the foundation for your mitigating journal, Maeve. So I think it had a huge role. And for Shell, I think actually, I mean, Steve Brookfield, Shell, was very much involved in that moment of teacher education in the early to mid 1990s, where the methodologies weren't hugely well developed, and I was just getting people reflecting on classroom practice and providing a scaffold for them to do that. So this might be interesting for that. But so Shell, you wrote. Now, Maeve, darling, what were you writing on? Well, we've got beautiful Maeve up in her gorgeous.
Okay,
what were you writing on?
I wrote you an email. Because I said to myself, what is the best use of my time right now? And I wrote you an email, because I've always done that. That's I do lots of things repetitively, but at the moment, because I've got a Damien, I've got a mid-cancer review, which I've slowly grown towards. 18th of April, my birthday's 3 days before that. So I'm in one of those sort of peak moments where you have to get really a lot done in a very short period of time. So it's not the same as when you're like, I don't know, in the middle, it's not that moment. I've got to get this swear word done. Yeah. So I'm in this sort of peak thing, and I thought, what's the best use of my time right now? So I've written you an email, Tara. My key thing that I'm concerned about is the dates that I send you things, so that we're working in a routine. So so I've sort of suggested to you, I've done some backward mapping from the 18th of April, and I suggested to you a range of dates. And so I would love a reply.
Yes.
Get a minute. But the other thing that I did the whole of this morning, because we talked about the milestone document, and that has helped me enormously. So I've already written hundreds of words this morning in the milestone document.
Brilliant.
Because I otherwise don't have any time left over to make a milestone document.
I think that's absolutely brilliant, mate. Very good use of time. That excellent. And the backward mapping will help the process as well. You are legendary. Well done. Should we go to the other light of our lives, Susan L., who just inspires? Obviously, Damien's going, it's Susan time. I'm excited. It's Susan time. Susan, we're so excited when you arrived. What were you writing on, Susan?
Well, today I went to the New York Public Library. They have a research division, which rivals that of any university, And I went there because I needed to get articles that I could not get online, can only get them in a, be in person, articles and textbooks. So what I was doing was I got several of them. So what I was doing was making notes on one of them. And one of the articles, actually this article is not one of those that I got. It's the article that attracted my attention, and it is called Social Media, Newsworthiness and Missing White Woman Syndrome, a criminological analysis. And that just came out last month. It's in Social Sciences magazine.
Wow.
Yeah, that came out January the 10th. That's when it was published.
I'm going to be finding that this afternoon after Nora and Maeve time. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to look at, that article and some of the others is because I'm still working on this article, that I had feedback on. And it's really interesting what this particular article has to say about what newspapers do, what media do, especially newspapers, magazines, television news programs, and all of this about women and this is from Ireland. This is, originated from Ireland. Women in Ireland and also, in the United States and, other Western nations who turn up missing, how they're treated differentially by the media based on their ethnic or racial characteristics.
Ooh.
So it's a really interesting article. But anyway, that's why I'm late, because I had just got in, I didn't have a chance to put away the groceries. I just came in and I sit down.
And we love it when you just come in and sit down. And again, you've given us all reading. Everybody's written that down. I can see Jess is sort of losing the plot. She's going to be circulating and trying to find that this afternoon as well. Unbelievable. So Susan, thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. You're amazing. I'm running out of time a little bit, but can I go to the wonderful Saji, who I haven't seen this week? How are you, mate? I've been thinking of you, you legendary human. What were you working on, mate? Or sound, brother? Mute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I've got your comments on my dissertation. I'm just moving toward the next chapter. I'm just trying to revise. I've got many feedbacks on my dissertation, and during the last 2 weeks, I've been working on the next study. I mean, the second study of my dissertation, and I came up with the idea that I have to just have a table and a graph that I can just explain what new variables I'm just introducing. And and then I try to separate the studies from my dissertation because I've got feedbacks on studies and said, okay, I'm just repeating, for example, introduction, why I'm just doing this research. So because I was just writing it based on the journal's templates, the formats. And then, okay, it's the time to just separate that articles and just get them prepared to submit. And then at the same time, I'm just trying to change the format and the context of my dissertation. And at first it was a bit hard, but now I said, okay, it's time to just use and refer to different sections of my dissertation. So because it's my first time just writing such things, long.
That's fantastic.
Dissertation. Just have to refer like a book, refer to the chapter, that page. And
I'm so proud of you, Sanjay. It's a hard skill set. And if it's useful, I'm trying to remember, Josh, in last week's digital office hours, we talked about the article to the chapter and the stapling in of the article and how to extend it a bit. So Sanjay, if you just go into digital office hours last week, I think it was DOH 40, there might be just a little bit of advice and help there. And we'll obviously talk about it in the coming week, mate. Legendary. Well done. You're a star. And look, we'll finish with the legendary Anvita, who her hair's out. So obviously we're all okay. When we see the hair out, we all relax a bit. Ooh, when the hair's up, I'm going, oh, when it's in unicorn mode, I go, we're in unicorn mode. This is a problem. So Anvita, what were you writing on? I'm very excited.
Tara, actually, since last week, since I've been back to attending digital office hours, I've been using the half an hour to kind of reflect on what the week has been like. Because I've also needed to write a couple of reflective pieces, which I would like to be and form a part of my thesis, especially a lot of the roadblocks that I encountered and the reason why my research has drifted so far from what it was meant to be at my confirmation. I wanted to add even a page, if not two, to my methodology section because I think it really needs to be in there.
Yes.
So I'm using this time to kind of collate like a Word document of things that I've gone through the week and then go through that, take out excerpts and put that into my thesis. So at the moment, that's what I'm working on.
You're a genius and you're absolutely right. That's where the reflections can end up, colleagues. Jess, this could be important for you too, Angel. They end up in the methodology chapter. So what happened with the methods, because that's the difference between methodology and method. What happened, what went right, what went wrong, the theory of the methods. And then those reflections end up being the spine of your conclusion. What happened? Why do we care? What did you learn? What would you do differently next time? And examiners will lose their minds. Colleagues, I'm so sorry I didn't get round to everybody. You are all incredibly precious to us. Susan, have a lovely night. We're thinking of you. Our other wonderful Susan who's still with us. Susan, we adore both our Susans. Sleep well tonight. We love you, Nor. I'm going to have a Nor afternoon and a Maeve afternoon. Have a lovely rest of the day, colleagues. You are precious. Thank you for your time. You are appreciated. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye. Love you, Nor. Love you.